What up, folks? This your boy Dino, aka your Solid Five,
Yeah, Bay Area Creep, keeping it real. And
and
we
we
are
are
the
the Boo
Boo Crew.
Crew. So scared. So we got a special guest here today. We got Kit Green. You might know her
Welcome.
from Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare,
That's right.
amongst
Welcome.
other
Welcome
things.
to the
Welcome, welcome,
welcome
welcome.
Thank
to the
you.
podcast.
It's
Yeah,
so good to see you both.
Good to see you too. Glad you can
I'm
make
very
it.
excited for this. Yeah. So let's go back in time a little bit. I was going down the rabbit hole of like YouTube and stuff like that. And you're I mean, you're many things. So like, one of them is being like a I guess performance artist, and in lots of theater, and you do music, you do everything. You're just all over the place, but in a great way.
All the above.
Yeah. So I saw some of your characters, from a while back. We have Ida Bar, Ida
Mhm.
Bar, and
I
and
love
Tina
that.
C. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, So tell me, like, what was like the your influences on that? Because it just blew me away.
Well, what Tina C, I spent sort of 20 odd years of my life being an American superstar, an American country
Mm.
music singer. So it's kind of weird to
Oh
look
wow.
back on. And then, yeah, long time. And I stopped doing that character 5 or 6 years ago. But yeah, I loved country music. I discovered country music and I was like, oh, I'll just create this character. But it was a way
Hmm.
of talking about America and the this country, because I'm British, Britain's weird relationship with America, just like
Right,
Yeah.
right.
everyone has a slightly weird relationship with America. We all have to have a relationship with the US. So it's a way of talking about that and celebrity, but also singing some comedy songs. That's great.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that was the impetus.
Um, you did a song about Virgin Mary, and
Yeah, it's called I Feel Like Mary Tonight.
yeah, I feel like married tonight. And I was like, how many people got pissed off from that song? Because right,
Well, it was always very, my job is to provoke and poke
right.
and create a response. Yeah, people did. But yeah, I mean, you haven't mentioned the classic songs like No Dick's as Hard as My Life or I Thought I Went, oh God, it's a long time. I'm just freeway on the, no, I'm just roadkill on the freeway of your love. Clearly, it's been a long time since I've done that character. But it was, yeah, I spent like over 2 decades talking like this, like I was from Nashville.
Yeah.
So, and that was me.
From what was it?
But yeah, so a bunch of characters, British character. But yeah, you're right. I do lots and lots of different things. Acting is just one of them, and increasingly in the last few years, more and more acting. Yeah.
From Open Throat, Tennessee, right?
That's right. Open Throat Holler. Open Throat Holler, TNC. It's got 17 brothers and sisters. I wrote Tina C's autobiography, which is called Complete and Utter Country, and it was one of the most fun things I ever did was writing her biography and just fleshing out this fiction to like the most
Right.
ridiculous extreme.
It's expanding that universe, yeah.
Yeah,
I got
exactly.
some
Well,
cousins in Tennessee too, so I wonder
oh,
if
well,
they
there
ever
you
heard
go.
about it. Yeah,
Well, yeah, maybe. I would love that.
which I don't ever talk to, but they're there.
Well,
Um, yeah, and then I
They
saw
exist.
I saw your cover on Tom Waits, and I was like, that's pretty fucking cool.
oh, oh, I love that song. And Tina was always like, I don't want to, criticize, but I think he lets himself down vocally. Uh,
Yeah,
the
Nick, you
songs are
know who
so
Tom Waits
good.
is, right?
Okay.
Nick, you know who Tom Waits is?
No.
No, you don't know. Okay, well, he's
Who the fuck
Um,
think?
Tom Waits. He's a singer. He's a what would you categorize him?
he's kind of Americana folk, but also in a category of his own, really. Just
He's got
incredible
a
songwriter,
really deep,
but a
raspy voice.
gravelly
He's
voice.
from, yeah, he's from Frisco
No.
too.
Really?
Yeah,
What the fuck? I never heard of this motherfucker. I gotta look this dude up now.
yeah. He has some really good songs.
It's really good songs, like
Yeah,
incredible
one
songwriting.
of my
Yeah.
favorites is "Hoist That Rag," but
Oh yes.
yeah,
And what song
um,
did I used to do? Well, I hope that I don't fall in love with
Yeah,
you.
that's the one I was.
Oh,
Yeah,
beautiful. Yeah, I used to sing that song. Yeah.
I was very happy when you sang that.
Thank
Um,
you.
yeah, and then we go to Ida Bar, and Nick, if you didn't know what that was the Rapping Grandma. So yeah,
And it
I don't want
really, yeah, Ida Bar, and it's so culturally specific. Like, she basically is this old-time British music hall singer. So there's
Yeah,
all of these references, and she lives in East London. But she's doing sort of, contemporary hip hop and just like throwing down R&B beats and rhymes. I mean, it's a ridiculous joke,
yeah,
um, but it's such a cultural kind of it's culturally specific thing, and the accent is this very precise thing, which is from old British films where
yeah.
it was posh actresses talking as if they were Cockney. So she
okay.
talks like that, innit? No better than she should be, as I live and breathe. It will mean absolutely nothing to but then I'm doing Missy Elliott numbers in that
Yeah,
accent.
I heard the Missy Elliott background, and I was like, oh, okay. And then you did I saw a clip on your YouTube of a talk show. You were on there for well, it wasn't a talk show. I think it was a well, kind of. It was like a I don't know if it was late night or daytime, but you did a number on there as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And it was pretty long. It was like 10 minutes or something like that. And I was like, wow, this is pretty awesome. I don't know. I loved it.
Oh, British rappers I've been listening to lately though is Pete and Bass.
I
Oh,
don't know.
I don't know them.
They're like these old British dudes, and they
Oh
fucking
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah, yeah,
know what I'm talking about? And
yeah, yeah.
they just like rap off, dude. They take off. I was like, what the
They're
fuck are
good
these
No,
guys?
actually.
really? Okay, that's
Yeah,
great. Tell me again, what are they called?
Pete and Bass.
Okay, well,
P
I'll look them
P
up.
yeah, Pete and then Bass
Yeah.
BAS.
Okay, great. I'll look them up.
I saw them on YouTube actually. Oh no, not YouTube.
Facebook,
TikTok.
TikTok.
That's where
Okay,
I saw them first. Yeah, and I
I
was
first
like,
saw them
oh
on
shit, they're going off.
I first saw them on Facebook and then Instagram, and I'm like, fuck, these dudes are good. These dudes
Yeah,
are
they're good.
like,
Yeah, they are.
they're so fucking good for their age.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. I was like, is this a bit? I'm like, no, it's not a bit. It's just,
No,
you know,
it's
it's just them
real.
going off. Yeah.
Let's go back in time a little bit more and tell us how you started with your career of theater. Because I assume you started theater first before you went into
Mm.
acting.
Yeah, well, I used to work in television and I worked in music television. So I a long time ago put bands onto TV.
Hmm.
And and then I just from spending my early 20s just like watching famous people,
Yeah,
and just I think I just watched them and was like, they don't really know what they're doing. They're great, but they're just making stuff up. And so by
yeah,
my mid to late 20s, I was like, I can make stuff up. I can just do stuff.
Hmm.
But I didn't have any acting training or formal training like that. I just started inventing things and just started kind of, yeah, doing comedy, doing performance art, just
mhm,
doing, which is what I've always done, just do stuff that interests me. I never had any kind of coherent career, which is why, as you're saying, it is just a whole bunch of things that are sort of intriguing and just
yeah.
satisfy my brain. So yeah, so there's always been this kind of live art, performance art side, making experiential theatre that the audiences join in with. So that kind of like intense pushing the boundaries of what is theatre, and then comedy, doing comedy songs and making people laugh, being an entertainer. So those two aspects.
Well,
I don't know.
that's the great thing about art too, is like you don't necessarily have to train for anything. A lot of times, you know, you can just go. It's almost like painting. Like you just start drawing something, and eventually you start getting better at your, you know, lines and everything, and you know, becomes sharper. So
Yeah, absolutely. And you go further and further down the road of what interests you,
yeah,
and that's certainly what I've done. And also just using music in virtually everything I've done. Um, and I did music as a child, and I'm still kind of enjoying it, and that feels like a real privilege.
Mhm.
And also, I think for me, I I maybe would have become an actor, but I never really understood what I would be cast in. And this is before I started transitioning. And it
Hmm.
was like, I didn't, like there wasn't really a place for me to be an actor. Do you know what I mean? It's like what roles would there be?
Right.
Whereas like since I transitioned, it's a lot clearer. It's like, oh, I can play these roles. It's not straightforward, but it's much clearer the kind of things I want to do and be in other people's pieces instead of always having to make my own work.
That's what I was going to ask too. Is how the change in acting was from before to your transition now. The difference in it. Are
Yeah, I mean,
more things are opening up for you as now?
absolutely. Yeah, I never had an acting agent. I never auditioned for anything. I had not done an audition until like 2 or 3 years ago. I mean, it's
Mhm.
crazy, really, the changes that I've done. So, yeah, I've got an acting agent now. It's pretty clear. It's not like there are a million roles, but it's pretty clear the kind of roles that people are interested in me doing and seeing me for, and that's really exciting, and I love that. So, yeah, it feels like a whole new chapter in my life in many ways.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've always wondered that too. I'm like, because it's not that I do acting or anything like that, but I've always wanted to like to know, I'm like, what kind of typecasting would I be into? Because like, I'm like, well, I'm chubby for one. I'm older now. I'm like, am I gonna be a dad? Like, I'm like,
Yeah,
I don't know what I would
exactly.
do.
And it's when it's 10, 15, 20 years ago, I was like, I don't even know what I would want. Like there were roles I could have played, but like
Yeah,
ugh, did I want to do those kind of roles?
Yeah.
No. And so it was always really, really confusing. So it was always much easier for me just to invent my own stuff, which is
Mhm.
what I've done and very successfully, and I'm grateful that I did that. But it's nice at my age to be able to do other things. And I've done a couple of games, and I've done, the horror film, and I've done an opera, and I've done, quite a few
Let's talk.
straight
Let's talk
plays.
about these games.
Great.
What are these games? I'm interested.
yeah.
The one I can talk about is Dragon's Dogma, Dragon's Dogma
Okay.
2. Do you know that one? So it's
No.
I've
the
heard of it.
follow-up. Yeah, so Dragon's Dogma 2, I was quite a big role in that.
Hmm.
And that was fun. That was like years of doing voiceover and motion capture. I mean, years, like once every 6 weeks going and doing 2 hours,
Right.
but it was
You know.
fun. Yeah, so that was great. And then I've been doing another one, which isn't out yet, but. So
Okay.
yeah, so you're a gamer, and I'm not a gamer, and so sometimes they were explaining kind of what my character was guiding the player through, and I was like, eventually I was like, I'll just say the words,
Yeah. Just shoot me the lines. Yeah.
just give me the lines.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Thanks,
We're
yeah.
we're both
Yeah.
gamers, so like, for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. We are. Yeah,
Good. Well,
definitely.
check out that one.
Definitely on that.
People love the first one, and so when the second one was coming due to come out, Dragon's Dogma, people were like, "Oh my God, you're in that game!" I'm like, "Yeah, is that good?" So.
Like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I want to. No,
Right
go
now
ahead.
right now we're playing. Well, fucking, we're in the middle of playing Dead Island. This is a zombie game. It's fucking really awesome.
Okay, very good. You see, you could literally say anything to me right now, and I'll go, "Oh, I love
Like, okay,
it." In a
very
very British way, I'll go, "Oh, that sounds so nice." Good.
Polite. How polite is it?
So polite.
Just nodding your head. Sure, yeah.
That sounds, yeah, super.
Oh, good. Super.
Sounds
Good to
amazing. Yeah. So, I want to know because I asked this about any performer, anybody on stage. What's like? Do you have like a horror story of like, something that went so wrong you were just like, oh, this is like living rent free in my head the rest of my life?
Um,
Or
I
funny. I
mean,
mean,
yeah, no, I mean, I do, but I think what I did, I'll tell you a good one in a minute. I think I just learned because I was creating comedy characters and doing stuff. I think I just got this into this trick of like always incorporating it and
okay,
kind of welcoming it, almost like in a sort of slightly, Buddhist way of kind of like welcoming in the dysfunction and all that kind of stuff. But in the early days of my of performing, yeah, there were definitely some things where I was like, I can't cope with this. And I think when you're not very experienced, you just don't know what to do. You just don't
right,
know. You just say you freeze. One of the first ones was I was working. Hosting. This is when people thought that I was a drag queen, and then I just stopped doing anything that was anything like that.
Yeah.
And I was hosting this night for like a hen night, like for women with like strippers, and it was all and like I didn't even realize what that was, you know. So already I was out of my comfort zone. And then
Mm.
the organizer came in and she was deaf. And I was like, oh, okay. So she was sort of like communicating to me. And then she basically, it was very hard to kind of communicate. And then I just suddenly understood that everyone was deaf. That
Oof.
all of the women were deaf. So I said to the strippers, their women are deaf. They're like, well, what are we going to do? And they were like, oh, we'll just carry on. And then one of them basically, um, oh, I can't really, it's too degrading to do, but he blindfolded a woman and then got her to lie down and then he dangled his genitalia in her, on her face. But
Jeez.
he, in order to get her to lie down, he blindfolded her and then went, lie down. And then I was like, she's deaf. So then he lifted up the blindfold and went,
Yeah.
Yeah.
lie down really loud. And she did. And then I went up to her and said, I'm so sorry, that's so humiliating, whatever. And she was like, so I don't know. I mean, it's not a very coherent story, but that whole night was just like that's something I never want to get into again. To being yeah hosting strippers at a deaf institute. There are many others. I mean,
Yeah.
performance being a performer is essentially a degrading thing to be, and you're always balancing it. Um, and but also, like I say, I genuinely think I learned to really love it and really
Yeah.
love chaos. And as I say, I created all of these big experiential shows where the audience join in, and I genuinely love making something live out of all of that chaos and that kind of what the hell is happening right now. And yeah, I kind of thrive on that. So yeah, it's a slightly bland answer, but I do really love it. I love
Because
that place.
I'm sure there's moments in like the performance where you know you're just kind of like oops, but then you could also kind of wink at the at the people
Y-
and be like, is this a part of it? You know?
Yeah, exactly. Because audiences always think everything is planned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like I don't know, if your underwear falls down on stage, they just think there's a joke. So just don't be embarrassed. Just like go, haha. So my
Yeah.
Tina C character, if anything happened, I would always go, that was meant to happen. I make no mistakes. And that's like part of the arrogance of the character. But actually, I sort of believe it. Like whatever's supposed
Like
to happen
nailed
is
it.
supposed to
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I love kind of embracing chaos.
Well, kudos to you to doing a deaf show for with strippers.
It
Like
was so bad.
that
It
sounds like a
was so
nightmare.
long ago. I mean, now I would just go, no. I mean, of course, I wouldn't be hosting strippers or anything like, no
Right.
disrespect, but it's like I just wouldn't be doing. But like the whole thing, I'd just be like, what? What? Surely I should have been told this beforehand. They
Well,
they were like
so now
not
I got
getting it.
something to add on my checklist of teabagging a deaf person. All right, here we go.
Yes, exactly. Teabagging a deaf person. There's a new podcast idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was scrolling down your Instagram a little bit, and I noticed that you also performed at Pride in London, correct?
Yeah.
How was that?
It was
How was yours?
Yeah, it was. I was on the trans stage, and I think I don't. It feels very important right now to be doing trans affirming things,
Yeah.
and it with what's going on in your country and in this country, I think it's really important to be doing anything that kind of makes us feel stronger as a
Right.
community. Um, and I don't do a lot of events and things like that. But right now I feel like I really want to, and I'm part of this contemporary classical piece which is coming to New York in November, and it's an adaptation of this book called and Their Friends Between Revolutions. So it's this
Mm.
radical queer sci-fi book from the
Oh
70s.
wow.
It's crazy. And then they made it into this contemporary classical piece. We've toured it all over Europe. It's big, big venues, high status festivals and things. And we're going to Park Avenue Armory in New York, which is really exciting. And to do that in with America as it is at the moment feels
Mm.
really, really important. To just to stand on these big stages and to say we exist, this is what we look like, feels really, really
Yeah.
Yeah.
important.
I
How
mean, New
was the
York
pride?
especially, that's huge. Sorry, go ahead.
How's the pride? How's the pride community in London? Is it big?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, trans pride, especially. So I think the thing you saw was probably pride, and I was doing the trans stage. But trans pride, which
Yeah.
um, is huge in many British cities right now, and I think it taking up space in such a beautiful way. And
Yeah,
I went last year and it was almost twice as big this year because there's so many allies and so many people coming out to support and to say this is, this kind of creeping towards fascism that's happening not in my name. And it's exciting. So yeah, there
yeah,
feels that there is energy.
that's amazing. I usually try to catch it once a year in San Francisco. I love going to it. I love being a part of it. It's just
Yeah.
it's just a huge, amazing feeling of everybody getting together, and I think the pride parades are fucking the shit, dude. I think they're
Never
fucking.
been. Yeah.
I think they're fucking best, dude. Fucking pride parades are amazing. Like, dude,
Yeah,
like fucking like those dudes have so much fucking fun. Everyone there has so much fun. It's like
I
it's
know,
incredible.
and to have fun and be political is great. I was very lucky because I for many years I went to Australia to Sydney to perform.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tina C was very successful there, and so I hosted a lot of events at Mardi Gras in Sydney and did the TV coverage and stuff like that. And you've not seen anything till you've been to Mardi Gras in Sydney, like as a queer party and as political kind of like resilience. It's amazing. So
yeah.
yeah.
We used to have Mardi Gras here until everyone fucked that up.
There's always somebody, right?
Yeah,
That was
they fucked that up quick.
Yeah, I've never been to any prides, but I've not that I never wanted to. It's just like it's just always at a bad time for me, you know?
Mm.
So it's just like I haven't gone. I don't know. I would like but I just never fucking got a chance to.
We gotta go then, dude. We gotta go next
You
year.
got to take it, yeah.
I'm
Gotta
down.
go.
Yeah.
Pride, and Beta Breakers.
And it's great for me because you alluded to the music, so I'm kind of releasing albums now, more or less just for me, like
Yeah,
Right.
because I want to. Like I did so many records as Tina C, but now I'm just making the music I want to make, and it's going really, really well. I love it, and the gigs I do. But yes, the previous record, which I was singing songs from that album at Pride, is about being trans, and the new record is just about being alive. So it's about, it's about the world as it is. It's about,
mhm.
Is that
uh,
album four-letter word?
Four Letter Words is the new one, yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
So it's out pretty soon, which I'm really excited about, yeah.
Yeah.
You should be.
So
Yeah,
thank you. Yeah, but the previous one's out on all the streamers, and that's much more varied. It's like lots of pop and different
Mm.
musical genres. The new one is very intense and dark. It's just me and a classical pianist.
mhm.
So yeah, it's much more intense.
That's cool. It sounds like you have a lot of inspiration behind your work.
No, thank you. Yeah, Phil, I
Yeah. I
really.
mean, Nicky used to rap back in the day and a little bit, and then
I'll still tear it up, dude. I'll still tear it up.
I still write for fun, but I haven't done anything in forever. So yeah, it's good to be creative.
Yeah.
Yes, it's essential. Yeah.
Mine now is drawing. I like to draw. I draw when I can.
Oh,
Yeah.
great. And what kind of things?
So let's touch into you won an Olive Award in 2024 for a
Mhm.
show that I'm probably gonna butcher this fucking name. Fucking Ducky's CS Barbican. How do you say
So,
it?
so say Barbican, as in, like it's French,
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
like c'est Paris. It's a
Say
stupid joke.
Barbican.
So the Barbicans, is a big arts venue in London, and so it was yeah, it's an interactive show where the audience, when they arrive, they swap their ticket for an amount of ducky dollars, like
Okay.
currency, and the whole the idea is you're sitting around tables and the four performers come to your table and they do basically do performance art like lap
Hmm.
dancing.
Hmm.
So you get a menu of tricks or turns that you will do, and you pay for it at the table. So it's
Okay.
Hmm.
kind of where performance art meets a gentleman's club. And
That's pretty interesting as fuck.
yeah, it's great. And people were like, "Oh, you'll do anything for money," and we were like, "No, you have really not understood the thing. Like this is a list of our turns, and you have this fake currency." But it's about asking questions about who has the power. Does the performer have the power? Does the audience have the power? And
Got
what
you.
is the delicate thing? And it was deeply stupid as well. And yeah, we won. Yeah, we won loads of awards. It was like we were like, holy shit, we didn't expect that. So
Yeah.
that's nice. Yeah.
I'm missing so much in life.
There's so
Um,
much going on that you don't know, that you haven't experienced, my friend.
I know. Haven't traveled the world. I haven't fucking gone to all these shows or parades and stuff. It's like
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you've done a lot of good research though.
Uh,
You've been very busy on researching my
He does.
work.
He does.
well,
He definitely does his best.
Mm.
yeah, I do something.
Yeah.
So how was your more recent play, A Law of Mayhem? How was your experience on that?
So that was thank you for asking about that. So this is Uh, I've never really done a sort of super traditional play like that, and so this was a great experience, and it was playing the a very famous trans woman in British,
Yeah.
and so it's the story of the first two people in this country to medically transition to have surgery. Um,
Mm.
and so this was a trans man and then a trans woman, and they were a couple in the late 1940s. So for
Oh
3 years,
wow.
they were a couple. So it's a hell of a story. Um, and yeah, my character she was a Spitfire pilot in the Second World War, and
Mm.
then she became a racing car driver, right on the edge of breaking speed records and all that kind of thing. And then she transitioned. I mean, it's a
Wow.
pretty incredible life. And she lived to be 92. So
Oh
she only
wow.
died in 2011. So I was playing her, and I nearly played her 2 years ago for the BBC, and then that project didn't happen. And then they came to me and said, "There's this play's been written about her. Would you play her?" And I was like, "I think I'm meant to play her."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was great. It was great to do that, and it's going to go on tour next year.
Hell
So
yeah.
it's
That
around
sounds
the
an
UK.
incredible story. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it is
I gotta look it
incredible. And
up.
these
Yeah.
things we need to be reminded. There's so many amazing people that aren't household names that aren't known, and they
Yeah.
all expand our consciousness. And it's important to celebrate these stories, and we can learn so much when we're a bit stuck culturally, which I think we probably are
Right.
right now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it sucks when when you have too many or when you have like a small group of people that like kind of control the narrative of education and like stories, it's like
yeah,
why should we only be fed this stuff? Like there's so much more interesting things out there, you know.
yeah, and there's so many
Just
more heroic people
yeah,
than we're told about as
just
well.
because it doesn't fit into your like religious beliefs or your own personal beliefs, like it doesn't mean that it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
So, but who am I to say?
No, and I think there's so much to learn from the love story between the first two trans people to have surgery in this country. I mean, like that them as a couple, that's fascinating. Do
Yeah,
you know what I
especially in
mean?
the
Like
late
what
40s,
they
that's
went
crazy. Yeah.
through. Yeah,
Yeah.
the bravery and everything. So yeah,
I
it
mean,
was great to
my
hear.
great grandfather was in or my great grandfather was in World War II, so
Yeah,
he did the whole thing, so it's incredible.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, Nick, you want to jump off to the whole Peter Pan stuff?
Let's dip into Peter Pan and let's go into how did you land that role with director Scott Chambers and J M Barry? What led you into that Peter Pan role?
Yeah, so my agent said so there's this part in this play. I was like, I don't like in this film. I said I don't like horror. I'm like I'm not a horror person. I am the person who would just watches things like this. Like
Yeah.
I just not I
And
just
this
don't
is
love
the
it.
one you signed up for.
I know, and this is what I signed up for.
That
And
movie was horrific.
I know I did a tape, did an audition, and Scott immediately responded and was like, this is so good. This is exactly what I want. And then from that point onwards, I was just in. And he was just like he's so sweet and so passionate and so clear about what he wants. And then when he was writing the script, he checked with me a few things because of the storyline and the Tinkerbell's backstory.
Mm.
Um, and yeah, there was a lot of kind of trust between the two of us, I think. Um, that first tape that I did, I had an actor friend who's an older woman. She was in her late 70s, and she was reading in the lines, and I knew that I got something because I did one take with her reading in the lines, and then I pressed stop, on the phone, and then I looked at her and was like, "Should we do another one?" And she went, "Fucking hell, you scared the shit out of me." And I was
I
like,
love it.
"Oh, okay." Oh, maybe I'm going to get it then. But I just instinctively read. I mean, Tinkerbell didn't end up being quite like that, but I instinctively read what he wrote and was just
Yeah.
like this kind of pure innocence of
Yeah.
like in this body that's just seen so much and done so much, but there's this kind of like, I don't know. Peter's a good person, really. Just
Yeah.
trust him. He'll take you to Neverland. So yeah, so then there was just a lot of trust with Scott and then, yeah, when we were filming it, I mean, as you can imagine, it was just awful. It was just horrible.
Yeah.
And the all the scenes that I was in, nearly all of them were in this abandoned school
Okay.
that had been
Okay.
empty for something like 30 years. So we were filming long, long days in this building, which was just disgusting. It was
Yeah.
dirty and in the end I just stopped washing because I just had scum in my hair and blood in my hair and
Yeah, yeah.
there was just no point going home and scrubbing it all off and starting again in the morning. So I was just filthy for days.
You're all fuck
Um,
it. I'm gonna be back in 2 days or 2 hours. Like I might as
Yes,
well just sit
because it was
here.
just like long days. You just like you get home at midnight and go back in at 6. So it's like, oh well, I'll just be filthy. So yeah, and it was pretty intense. And as you can imagine, the final scenes,
Hmm.
because what it's like, the final scenes were really intense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of loved it.
All
How
right.
long did it
So,
take to film that movie? How long was filming?
I don't know from start to finish, something like 8 weeks, I think, 7 or 8
Oh
weeks,
wow.
and I was
okay.
in for like 4. So
No. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
so yeah, it was pretty. I mean, I think it looks really good considering what the budget
For
was.
8 weeks, yeah, it looks
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's
I
my favorite one of the TCU so far.
I
No,
didn't I
Yeah.
great.
didn't expect I didn't expect you to say 8 weeks. That's for the way it looks. It was done
No,
well.
it's really good, and I think the team are so good, and the DOP and all of everyone, all the vision is really really strong. But also, I think for me, the reason why this Peter Pan really works is I think the script is really really great, and I think the
Yeah.
psychological thriller aspect of
Yeah.
it
Right. Yep.
regardless, like I say, I'm not really interested in the jump scares and the schlock and the blood and all of that kind of stuff. That doesn't really interest me so much. But I think psychologically it's fascinating,
Yeah.
and what's going on between Wendy and her little brother and that kind of stuff and that connection. But and then what's going on with Peter and Tinkerbell it's a
Yeah.
coercive control relationship. It's like it's the kind of thing we see played out in every street in every
Yeah.
city.
Pretty extreme though. Yeah. But
Yeah, it's just a push to the absolute
yeah.
extreme.
Yeah.
But
I mean, because there's so much about that movie. It's like, especially with addiction, with being addicted to the imagination. Of like, because like Peter Pan's so addicted to the
Fucking
Peter Pan
Peter,
story, and
Peter Pan was
everyone
like a
else.
to me. To me, he falls doing heroin. Because fucking
Oh
he was
yeah,
on, he had all those syringes. I was like, this dude's on
yeah, pixie
drugs.
dust. Yeah,
On the pixie dust. Yeah, she was
yeah,
on the pixie dust. And I had the prosthetic
yeah. The track marks.
to
Yeah.
inject into the
Well, because
yeah,
Peter was in it
exactly.
too. Yeah,
It's about the power line, the power of imagination, yeah, of
yeah,
narrative. And I
Yeah,
think you're right, it's really satisfying. And I think the one thing for me that I really kept hold of all the way through is in a really truthful way is that Tinkerbell really believes that she's a fairy because he's told her
yeah,
yeah,
that she's special, and that's why she can't really start to unpick the things that he's told her, because if these other things aren't true, then that's not true, and then who is she?
yeah.
right.
And so yeah, I mean, I think that is very rich psychologically, because we all have these stories that we've been told about ourselves, or that we believe about ourselves, that we find hard to question and unpick, and so even though it is so extreme, like you say, I think there is a
Yeah.
lot of psychological truth to it.
I mean,
Mhm.
not to
Yeah,
go too deep into it, but that's kind of the same thing with like religion, right? It's like,
Mm.
we believe in these stories, or some people believe in these stories so much, but um, it's not really based off of too many facts,
No,
but
exactly. And
but
it's important that we believe in them.
yeah, but it's the belief is so important to help them with their daily lives, and or whatnot, or their values and stuff like that, and it's just kind of the same thing with this movie. It's like Peter Pan had to sort of go off with the story and build his whole life around it, in order, because otherwise he has nothing, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
He had nothing, and he created Tinkerbell to also have nothing. He took her
yeah,
away from her family. He basically remade her so she was addicted to him,
yeah,
yeah,
as well as to the heroin. And I think I really loved being that character, even though she was so traumatized and so
yeah,
so many awful things happened to her. But she's really brave, like as the film goes on, she's
yeah,
really brave because she does dare to question the things that he's told her, and she does want to save Peter
the kids,
and help Wendy. She
yeah,
really wants to. She knows she needs to, and that's really brave because she has to see all of this fiction disappearing, and
yeah.
so yeah, I think there's a lot for people to get into, as well as all the all the
Because
prosthetics and all the extremity.
there's like the point where Wendy gets through Tinkerbell and try to breaks through her trauma and brings back her dad. Your dad misses you and this, because like that's what happens when you're traumatized. When you're traumatized and you're around it enough, your brain starts reshaping to the trauma that you're in,
Yeah,
believing that it's real. You know.
absolutely. Yeah, and that if you start to question all of those things, it's so painful because it's like, what, he's been lying to me since I was a child. I mean, it's just it's too much. It's too much.
Yeah.
And yeah, and so I'm so delighted that I did the film, and to be part of that whole universe now is so great, and all the plans for the future, and but also the reaction to the film globally has been amazing, and I've really loved all of that. And as I'm sure you saw, that we've been nominated for the National Film Awards in Britain.
Mhm.
Uh, the two of them won. So the two best actor went to Martin, best actress went to Megan. I was nominated but didn't win. Emma Thompson won in my category, and and Peter, who plays Michael, the young boy, he was also nominated, which is pretty amazing. So like,
yeah,
this reaction
Yeah.
has been so excellent, and we couldn't ask for any more, really.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because I've seen them all, and I'm like, that's easily my favorite. Go ahead, sorry.
He told me to watch it. He's like, "Do you gotta watch Peter Pan?" And he's like, "You'll like it." And I slapped it on. I was like, "This fucking movie is crazy. Oh, this is
Yeah.
this is
It's
some
so
crazy shit."
extreme.
And then it made a lot of sense to me because I deal with fucking trauma and PTSD, and I've dealt with addiction. And so as soon as
Mhm.
I saw him pull out a syringe, I said, I understand this guy now. I get him. I get it. I totally get it. But how was it working with Martin Portlock? Because
Oh,
for your experience, it looks really intense between you
Yeah.
two. But that's the acting. But how was your experience working with him?
I mean, Martin is just brilliant, and he was in almost in every scene. I mean, like he was
Yeah.
working
Yeah,
so hard during that filming, and I really felt for him because he's in that heavy prosthetics, and he's also playing such an intense,
yeah,
crazy
Yeah.
character.
Yeah.
And I mean, he wasn't staying in character by any means, but it's really tough for him because he's having to do all of these appalling things to all of us. Um, Me and him got on really well. We talked a lot about our scenes, and we did that between us and made it work for us because of the intensity of what we were
yeah,
doing. I mean, I think he's such a lovely man, and I think there were some things he really struggled with, especially with us, because basically whenever he's nice to Tinkerbell, it's just before he does something
goes
horrible.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so he, because Martin's so sweet and and good natured, and he'd be like, "Oh, I just feel really terrible." I was like, "It's okay, it's okay." So we made it work between the two of us, and Scott's great. You know, he's very intuitive, and but yeah, it's intense, and
Yeah.
I needed some help with it when we were filming. You know, I work because of because also a director and make work. I have worked with well-being coordinators, and I've worked
Mhm.
with intimacy coordinators, and so I did have someone that I called up when we were in the middle of filming and was like, I'm feeling really weird about it because it's really, really intense to be doing
Yeah.
that and
Yeah,
to have this connection with such a powerful character as Martin portrays Peter as being.
yeah,
And
So
most of the
yeah,
scenes are very physical too. Like
yeah.
he's like beating
yeah,
people up like the whole movie.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's strong as well. So Martin, he like as a man, he's like he's big. He's got massive hands, and so sometimes like when he was grabbing me, it's like it's like I mean, that's one of the reasons why he works is because he's a very physical actor as well.
yeah.
But yeah, it is pretty intense. Like sometimes when he's like throwing me across a room. Oh yeah, it was an intense in that abandoned school at night.
Yeah, I was watching. I was like, man, he's like he's like I mean, to put it in a nutshell, I was like, Peter Pan's the worst.
He's
Like he's
abusive.
just
He's
yeah.
fucking, he's
He's the
fucking,
worst.
he's fucking physically abusive, dude. He's crazy.
Yeah, he's like everything that
But
you've
arguably,
ever
even like
been
the
warned
original Peter
about.
Pan's the worst anyway.
He's
So
like, he's like every bad relationship pulled into one.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
all rolled into one.
yeah.
And yet Tinkerbell's like, no, he's nice, really. He
He just
takes the
wants to
bullshit.
help you. Yeah,
He'll just
like
help you. Yeah.
typical
But then,
typical
I
TV
mean,
relationship.
The thing that we can't get away from is that the original J.M. Barrie was like, I'm not saying he was weird, but I think he probably was. Like the original book, the Edwardian kids book, is crazy. And
Mhm.
so, really, what Scott's done is take so much of that original oddness and weirdness. I mean, of course, he wasn't an intense, murdering psychopath like this, but it's weird. That book is weird. So,
yeah.
he's just bringing out all of that weirdness. So,
But
Yeah,
all of those books and stories are weird anyway, right? Like
yes,
Cinderella and all them. Yeah, they're all pretty
it's
fucked
just
up.
it's just that it's just the Disney versions that were
Yeah,
sanitized. So
yeah.
and so it's just a reaction against that. So people are like, "You're destroying childhood." It's like all these stories were crazy and to start with.
Pinocchio
Oh god.
too. Like that was a twisted. Anyway,
Twisted and they all come from this kind of Northern European Grimm's fairy tales, Hans
yeah.
Christian Andersen, Northern European weird kind of ugh, fucked up stories. So yeah.
Speaking of Disney, do you have any favorite Disney stories? I mean, did you ever care about any of them?
Um, did I ever care about them? Not, I mean, not massively. I mean, I kind of liked, I sort of grew up on Mary Poppins and those kind of like
Mary
live
Poppins
anim
and shit.
yeah,
Yeah.
those ones.
You mean
And
Pennywise? I was kidding.
you what?
There's a theory. There's a what do you call it? There was like a bunch of people online that
It's
are
not
like,
Poppins.
yeah, that Poppins is like a Pennywise alien type person.
Oh, I see. Yes.
What?
Yes.
Yeah, I swear.
That's too much. That's too that's too
Conspiracy
weird for
theory. Yeah,
me. Um,
they're like the
yeah.
same like alien race or whatever it is.
Okay.
Dude, I love Mary Poppins. When she was pulling shit out of her bags, I was like, what the fuck?
I know, and it's the and all of the I mean again it's so trippy with the live animation, the live action stuff all
Yeah.
mixed in with the animation. Yeah, it's crazy. But no, I definitely I wasn't massive on Disney, no. And and definitely not the later ones. And I love how generational all that stuff is because I've just been doing
Mm.
this the play, The Law of Mayhem, with all these young actors,
Right.
and they're constantly talking about all these Disney films that I have no relationship whatsoever, and they've sort of like so much of their sense of self is based on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
I
Hook
same here. I didn't grow up on any of that shit. I like Nick. All horror films since I was a kid. So
is
Well,
Hook Disney? Is Hook Disney?
it's Peter
don't
Pan.
think
Yeah.
so.
Is it? I don't remember. Is
It's
No, that was the Spielberg production.
yeah, I
is
think
it?
yeah, I think it was
Yeah.
Disney. It's a bit too gritty, isn't it, to be to be Disney?
Um,
Yeah,
if it
probably
was
right.
Disney, they gave him more leeway on the on his version of the story.
Mm.
But yeah, I mean, Peter Pan in general is just
This
the
makes me
worst.
look. I need to watch Hook now, dude, because fucking like my whole fucking perspective on Peter Pan is all fucked up.
Yes, you need to cleanse the palate.
Well, if you think about it, like Peter Pan like steals all these kids to take them to
He steals
Neverland.
kids, yeah.
Yeah, and then like Peter Pan's literally trying to take them back to like to so they can grow up like a normal person.
And then
So
be
I'm like,
stuck.
so technically Hook's the good guy.
Yes, exactly. And Hook is pretty amazing in this film, in our version, isn't it?
Oh, I know, yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
I was like, shocker. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's funny that how against horror movies you were, and then like your character
Mm,
took like the
that's
most brutality out of
Hmm.
anyone, and your scene. Okay, real quick, when you're filming the scene of getting your limbs chopped off and your head stepped on, what was going through your head in this whole thing? Because I know that you said horror movies is not your thing, but your character took it hard the most.
yeah.
So what was going through your head? How was your experience with that? Because that was a really brutal and bloody scene for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really was. Yeah, you're right. For my initiation into the horror world, I well, the first thing is it took quite a long time. So it's not it really yeah, it was intense. I had um I had a body double,
Okay.
and
Hmm.
but I have sort of watched that scene on slow motion, and I think they used because what they did was you have a go first and then we'll get the body double in, and I think they used me for all of it. So there's
Yeah.
one bit where I get thrown onto the table, and that's definitely me.
Okay.
Um, so there was some things like that that were just like physically quite grueling. Um, and then yeah, I mean, it's also just really cold and horrible, lying on the floor,
Yeah.
being covered in blood. So there's that. When we finally finished, Megan also, so Megan's also there playing Wendy.
Yeah.
And for me, it was so much about the connection between Tinkerbell and Tinkerbell knowing that she's going to die if she helps Wendy. And so
Yeah.
that was so much of the emotion for me was not like, I'm I'm I know I'm going to die and I'm going to save her. So that was a lot of my motivation. But when we finished, they basically had to scoop the two of us up, and they're like the runners and the makeup people, they basically sort of half carried us because we were just lying on the floor covered in blood for so many hours. and they sort of just like, and we were in this place with no running water and no electricity, and they basically just kind of like stripped us and wiped us down with wet wipes while we kind of just were like going crying. And I was like, horror's great.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I love it. That's what you were saying. I
but it
love it.
should be that intense. You know,
Yeah.
it really, I mean, I don't believe in suffering, you know, for your art just, you know, as an abstraction. But that
Hmm.
scene is so, as you say, is so brutal and so extreme that like you should have that kind of visceral reaction to it.
Hmm.
So, you know, I found it quite cathartic. I found it quite liberating in the end once I kind of recovered from it.
I know this is a
That's
bad
so
joke, but I was like, if I'm
awesome.
gonna do porn, I'm gonna do hardcore porn.
Yes. If I'm going to go, I mean that will be me. I mean, I will basically start doing porn in my 60s and just go really extreme because
No,
that just
I've done
seems
it
to
all
be my
now.
way of
Yeah.
doing it. Like we don't want to just go, you know, a little bit of tinkering around the edges
Like
insane.
Yeah,
straight
you just
balls to
balls
the
deep.
wall.
I don't
Yeah,
want to do, yes, exactly. We
full
don't want to do
throttle,
smut. Yes.
full
Uh,
throttle. Now,
well, yeah.
I hear that we're also looking forward to seeing some more Tinkerbell in the future. What are your opinions about that?
Well, I think that's yeah, it's on the cards. Like so in the universe, the monsters assemble,
Yeah,
that kind of that's happening and Scott is absolutely adamant that how Tinkerbell's there. He's not shared exactly what the mechanics of that are, how she's how she survived, but yeah,
I have a guess.
yeah, we
I
can
have I
you
have a
When you,
guess.
you
when you
I
got
start
think I
your
think Peter
theory.
Pan's gonna get all doped up. He's gonna see you in like in his heroin like
Ah.
heroin
scene.
dreams,
Yeah. So you know how you can see like Peter Pan's shadow flying around and stuff only when he's high.
Oh, you think
You
that's
notice
really,
that,
I love that.
and then
So
it's
you
he
not the
thought he
right
think
was
answer.
bi too.
It's not the right answer. The
Me either.
reaction was just
no,
not
I don't.
good.
No, no, no. That's the reason I'm doing that is because I don't know what the answer is yet. Because we haven't made it
Yeah,
and I haven't
yeah.
seen the script or anything.
I'm just saying
So
When
that'll
you
I
be
don't
good.
know. So, but I genuinely do love that. So like almost like his guilty, crazy conscience is
Yeah.
Tinkerbell's going to be in that. Could be, yeah, but
Eh,
she's definitely in it.
when do you start filming for that?
It was mooted and then it's been pushed back. So
Okay,
next year, I think. I don't know,
okay.
Yeah.
but we
So we
haven't.
still
She's
got some time until that pops out. I'm looking
yeah,
forward to
it's
it.
going to be some time, and I think because Scott's so ambitious and the whole gang, Reese and all of them, they're such a great gang, and they've done so much so quickly, and I think they just
Mhm.
get more and more ambitious with each film and
Mhm.
and with the budgets and I all power to them really. So I think they really want to make that one with all the characters in it like really
Right.
really, really
Yeah,
good.
really pop.
Yeah.
It's gonna work great. You know, with the way Peter Pan is and everything else been looking, and it's gonna be fantastic.
Yeah, and so many actors who've been in famous horror films and from that world, they're becoming really interested in the work that this gang are doing. And so I think there's going to be lots of celebrity cameos and I think it's going to be really great. So I think they want to get it right. But
Well,
yeah.
Robert Englund is gonna be Jiminy Cricket.
Yeah, that's right.
So
So there's a lot of
Is he real? Is he really?
yeah,
yeah,
he
Oh,
signed
that's
on.
really cool.
I know.
and there's others in the works that I've heard about. So
Winnie
yeah,
the
I
Pooh
think it's going to be
3.
really exciting.
Yeah. I'm excited. I'm
Yep.
excited to see all you guys in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank
Put my girl, Natasha Testini in there. I'll be fine.
well, have a word.
We're
Um,
gonna see Nicola Wright too. So yeah.
What you have anything else coming out in the future that we should be looking forward to besides the universe? Any other
um,
projects that you're working on?
no movies, but lots of theatre for next
Lots of
year.
theater work.
So yeah, and I love the contrast. Like I'm playing Mrs. Dalloway in Virginia Woolf. There's a Virginia Woolf novel, so I just love the variety of my work. Playing Virginia Woolf's greatest heroine, playing Tinkerbell. I mean, these are iconic roles.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
yes, but I've got the taste for horror now. I would love to do more
got the
horror
taste
work.
for
I think
blood.
I would love to do,
Like choke me
remake all
harder.
those. Yeah, exactly. I want to
throw
do
me,
those kind of
throw me
like
across
like
that room.
Like all those
Yeah,
great
baby steps.
Hollywood actresses doing exploitation movies, the kind of like Betty Davis and Joan Crawford and all of that lot doing those movies in the 60s, those low budget horrors. I want to be doing all of that. I think that'd be great.
Yeah.
Exploitation.
It's kind of like made its way back too a little bit.
Yeah.
The low budget horror film stuff is like making a big splash right now. So,
Yeah,
which is
absolutely,
great.
and it's great to be part of that. And this I want to do my version of The Substance, the Demi Moore movie,
Yeah,
Mhm.
stuff like that. I think there's a real interest
which I
in.
haven't finished yet, but
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I would love to do something like that, and I think it's really important. I know that horror is so important to so many people, but also to young queer people especially. And I think there's these narratives around transness and the way that that intersects with horror, I think is really fascinating. That people
yeah.
who are kind of struggling and up against it culturally are finding solace and creative expression through horror, I think is really, really exciting. And that's not
Yeah.
anything I knew anything about. And so that really thrills me.
Well, it kind of reminds me of what is it, Nightmare on Elm Street 2? And there's a lot of similarities of like the main character of coming out and like Freddy Krueger is kind of like the punishing him for that, in a sense.
Yeah.
Um, so there's a lot of that in that movie too. So that was kind of one of those early films that were kind of touching on that base a little bit, and I thought that
Yeah.
was kind of an interesting take on it.
And
Um,
I think it's such a creative genre and has so much to say about the world in which we live, as we were talking
yeah,
about with Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare. It is so much richer than you would at first imagine, and
Yeah.
has so much more to say about life now. So yeah, I would love to do more. So who knows? Watch this space.
well, I
That's
know
awesome.
since you're going to be in New York pretty soon, I would love to go see you, but I'm never in New York. I've never been,
Oh
so
yeah.
one day, hopefully, I can catch one of your shows.
Oh,
Nick's been
thank
there
you. I'd love to. It would
for
be
a
it,
while.
it'll be a treat to be in New York for a month
You
in
got
December.
a lot to catch up on, my friend.
I'm telling you, I haven't lived life yet. Have you been in the States before?
I have a few times, yeah.
Okay.
Uh, and I've done shows in New York before. So,
Oh,
but
okay.
this will be a real treat, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
All right. Well, we've taken up a lot of your time, but
no, it's a pleasure to chat with all of
I've had a
that.
It was.
fantastic time.
Yeah. And great to chat to both of you. Thank you so much.
I'm I'm I'm
Anything?
I'm extremely happy for your transitioning. You look fantastic.
Thank you.
I think a lot of opportunities are happening for you, and that's great.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm really looking forward to the work that you have coming out, and I'm
Mhm.
happy and grateful for the theater work that you're doing. And I really hope that you have a great trip in New York. I love New York. I miss it. If I could live there, I would. It's too fucking expensive.
Too expensive. Yeah. I knew you were going to say that. Yeah.
I've looked at apartments in New York to rent. I'm like, fuck this. It's just crazy. I'm like, how do you even live there?
I
But
know. It's
yeah, I wish I could be in New York too. That'll be awesome. But maybe wait
one
one
day.
day I gotta take this guy somewhere,
I know.
Yes, we got to get him out of the house. Yeah.
and show him something. Yeah, so we'll make it
Yeah.
happen.
Okay.
I've been as
Well,
far as Texas. That's it, which is pretty sad. Did anybody have anything to plug in before we head out? Before I do the plugs?
You wanna drop your Instagram or anything that you got going on
Yeah,
for
so you can
watch?
find my personal account at Kelly_DTO or the channel's account, which is Beyond the underscore Ether on the IG. And if you want to email us to tell me how much you hate me or
yeah.
us, you can say BooCrew2025 at Gmail. What you got, Nick?
Instagram Bay Area Creep. That's where I'm at. What about you, Miss Green?
I'm Kit_Green on everything. And no one emailed to say how much they hate you. No, that doesn't happen. That
I
definitely.
welcome all criticism.
He does too.
I'm crazy. I'm crazy like that. Anyway, again, it was great meeting you. Appreciate your time, and
My
best
pleasure.
to
I
all of
enjoyed the
your
chat.
everything you do in the future. I'm sure you'll hit some big markers in the future. So we're happy to
Yeah.
see it.
Yeah, and
And
pleasure to chat, guys.
that's it for this one, guys, folks. See you guys later.
Bye
Toodaloo.
bye. Bye.